Hey, my name is Jenessee, and if you are here, you are ready to pick your path for the beginning of this month. So this month, will it be red or blue? And we'll get into that in just a minute, but the mantra here this month is, are you a part of this first wave of alignments? So September is all about finishing, and if you want to know more about where you are within this fabulous 9-month, the grand finishing before we enter the close of the year, then stick with me and get ready to listen to the red or blue path for this September. So September is all about the great completion, right? So here we are at a 9 energy month, and this 9 energy month is going to give us the ability to complete, the ability to finish, the ability to basically take a reflection of what we have done from January 2020 all the way up until August 2020 and recognize if this is the foundation that we need to move forward. If you did not watch the end of August video, the new moon video, it was a little bit different this month, but it talked about, I'll give you a recap here, it talked about this new wave, this exciting new wave of energy that has entered into our space. This is the first time in my life over the last 10 years of reading people that I have actually witnessed a progression forward into a new fabric of reality, into a new dimensional space where we're accessing new energy. We are able to anchor into what we call high self, or if you've already been walking with high self, you're entering into the cosmic family, the big oversoul connection, which we can call divine self here. So wherever you are on this consciousness scale, the COVID virus had given us a freeze point, a set point within this reality where we entered this basically stop, no movement forward, figure out who you are, and if you're ready, let's get on the roller coaster ride to ascend. And so that's what everything from January to August gave us. And now here in September, we're reviewing all of that. We're looking at what we have created up until this point. We're realizing if we're ready to finish one era, one part of this like plugged in human life, the 3D paradigm, the old version of self, if we're ready to unplug from that completely, and if we're ready to ascend into the new human, the new you, the you that lives a part of this new era, this Aquarian age, this new vibrational energy. And so this September is huge. This September is transformationally huge. It is a moment in time where things are going very fast now energetically. Again, we've been given this first gateway. Like I said in August, I'm not sure how these gateways are coming in. Now as I've had 48 hours to play with it, I do believe that these gateways are going to be presented over a few years. It feels bigger than just this moment in time. But what feels like the June to November mirror reality that we've all kind of been playing within, that feels like this first pocket of opportunity for those who are ready, what we're calling the first wave, to really click in and be a part of this new energy and to lead the way. And so wherever you are, whatever you're doing, it's not as if there is a get on the boat or miss the opportunity here, but it is a recognition of this first really transformational shift that is happening to all of us here on this earth space. So where are we going to go from here? We're going to pick your path for the month of September. So how we do this, if this is your first time with me, is I'm going to give you an opportunity to understand the energy of what we're going to call the blue path and the energy of what we're going to call the red path. And what this does is it really dissects a lot of the collective energies that are ever present right now in this month of September. And it's going to funnel those energies down into two opportunities so that you can either pick one path or the other, so you can really anchor into what's shifting, what's changing, and how that's going to affect you moving forward. So the the goal here is to listen to what was happening. We're going to do a review of what choices you made, what was happening, what was shifting for you in August. So take a quick cleansing breath and really just try and remember who you were in that wonderful manifestation month of August. We had some high peak energies. We had some really low relaxing energies available to us in August. But it was a month where that foundation, that platform started building. So who showed up in your life in August? What kind of crazy adventures did you have? Or were you home relaxing, enjoying the last bits of really slow down and integrating before all this really end of the year fast integration energy is happening? So who were you in August? And we're going to review that now by assessing the versions of who you could have been in August. So what I want you to do is take a listen to what presents for the red path and what presents for the blue path. And remember, whatever you pick does not mean that's the energy you're carrying forward. It means those were the energies you were experiencing in August, which means all of those decisions, all those choices, all those thoughts are now creating a reality for you to move forward into September with, so that you can finish, so that you can have a really big picture assessment on who you were, what you built, what you've been creating, and now what you're going to plug into come the new beginning, the programming of October, the gateway of November, and then the refinement of December. So I'm tracking far out now this way, so excuse me when my eyes go a bit hazy and look through you. And so that's where all my energies are laid out. I've got 4 energies representing the blue path, and I've got 4 energies representing the red path. And so I'm going to just focus on those to see what we can read for you, to analyze what you're coming from August. So we're going to start with the blue path here. The blue path was somebody who is right in alignment for everything we were quoting, everything that was expected for August. August was the manifestation month, and somebody who's walking the blue path this month had a month of manifestation. That little trick never happens here. Those energy alignments typically don't come in so succinctly. And so what this means is your purpose, what you have been dreaming, what you have been building in this etheric, this mental range, this really heady space, everything you've been carrying here came through in August. So if that was your reality, and I feel like I don't even have to go more in depth than that, but if that was your reality, if you were living a manifestation month in August, then you will be on the blue path this month of September. And remember, that energy, it does not necessarily mean you're going to continue manifesting in September. What it means is that that and the choices and the decisions and the thoughts and the experiences you had in August will now lead to a whole flow of opportunities that are new but aligned to the new finishing completion energy here in September. So for those of you who lived the August energy manifestation, really creating a solid new foundation, again, the new moon energy that we reviewed at the end of August, that video, if you were building that first gateway, that first click in for this cosmic influx of energy, if you really were finding some stability, whatever that was with relationships, with foundation stuff, with yourself, if you were really locking into a really stable foundational aspect of self, I would say that would even be somebody who would be really connected here to the blue path in September. So that would be the blue path anchor. And so now we're going to clear that space, just as if you're trying on colognes or perfumes. We're going to take a nice deep breath, clear all the blue path energy from us, and exhale. Just release it out, cleansing our field. And now we're going to entertain the energy of the red path. So if you are walking red path this September, the energy that you would have been experiencing in August would have been still anchored into manifesting. You would have had a lot of great things coming through. But instead of you having a manifestation flow where it was actually building your physical reality to reflect your purpose, like the red path, this is all about manifesting energy that kept you really present to the world stage, to what's happening in the world. Think about, man, we've had so much political stuff in North America. The politics game is getting really big now, right? In preparation for November. So this is like world stage stuff. This is people who are, maybe you're not into politics, but maybe it's you're getting ready to serve bigger group collectives. Lots of people are going back to school, right? And so maybe there's this group mentality. Maybe you are somebody who's a part of a group and that group became really present to you. So somebody who is manifesting connections to the larger world scale, big things. It could be groups that support you, your purpose, groups that you feel really aligned to, connected to. It could be groups of the politics that you don't feel so connected to, but you're getting roped into, right? So the person who was really manifesting a lot of energy and connection to the bigger picture, humanity, or just bigger groups of people you're working with, you're connected to. It's all about connection. It's about being really present, connected to groups of people. So if that's more of the energy that you were playing with in August, then this red path is the path you're going to pick and you're going to listen to so that you can get what kind of alignments are coming in for you this September during our big grand finishing of our building this platform, so that we have a real stable platform to move from, so that in October we can program what we need, so that in November we can walk through that gateway unfazed, unbeaten up, because I swear those who aren't in alignment are going to get beat up this November, and then really emerge into the refinement at the end of the year, so that you can be in the new beginning come 2021. So, and I can't believe we're there yet, but so blue path, again, the big difference between blue path and red path this month, if you need kind of a micro fine tune of what path to pick, blue path is going to be all about the person who in August literally manifested their dreams into a physical foundation, into a physical reality, building. This is building. Actual things came in to manifest your purpose in this world. Big, right? And then red path is going to be manifesting the ability to be connected to the bigger picture. So you can kind of see how those are a little bit different. The red path is way more connected to groups, to humanity, to the world, to, again, we can use the word politics here, to ideals, to society, to humanity, to, school, collectives, these types of things. When you were really present and in the flow of bringing in what you needed as far as your circle, your community, your groups, then that would be you. People who maybe got back out, and it could be smaller. Maybe you're not playing on the world stage, or that's not your reality, but this feels like you. It could be just your groups, your network of friends, your community coming in and really supporting you, and you being a really key player in being able to be a part of the community coming together. And so it was all about connection to the bigger collective, bigger group, humanity, these big rings of circles of people around you. So that is your red and blue path digest. So depending on what energy most suits you because of what you were experiencing in August is what I want you to pick moving forward. So again, red path is all about your connection. Blue path is about manifesting your purpose into your physical foundation here on earth. And so picking that path now and choosing one of those, again, I'll put the timestamp here. We're going to move right into blue path first. So if you're picking the blue path, just stay on this video connecting and don't pause, just go right through. And then if you're going to pick red path, find the timestamp, move forward, scroll through the blue path. Don't even listen to it. Don't get confused. You don't want to do double the work this month. Again, a finishing month. You do not want to take on double timelines here. You don't want more energy or baggage, I should say, than you have to carry through life. So continue and follow fast forward to the red part of the path in the video, and I'll greet you there. So continuing with blue path. Again, I'm tracking way far out in the distance here, so excuse me when my eyes go a bit far-sighted, maybe nearsighted. I'm not sure what that would be. So we're going to start with the mastery, and I'll just give you a little digest again of how we read these energies. So I'm going to bring up 3 energies for you to be aware of throughout this month. So we talk about the mastery of the month. We're going to talk about the new beginning, and then the duality. And so again, picking the blue path means you're choosing to walk a really conscious, connected path for you energetically. And what this is going to do is it's going to help keep you into the alignments that are naturally shifting, to keep you in alignment to everything that's happening in a bigger way, in the unity plane, right? This is all about what we were talking about at the end of August, the shifts, the cosmic influx of energy here. So this is really keeping you sewed into the perfect alignment for you, for what you're learning, for what you have chosen to experience through this completion month of September. And so the mastery is the goal. It's the goal for you, for what you're trying to achieve and what you're trying to raise yourself consciously to experience. So in essence, the mastery is taking you from one life experience that maybe was a consciousness level down here, and it's trying to give you experiences that raise that awareness, that raise your consciousness a bit higher, so you can have more expansive connection to this energy that we're going to present as the mastery. And then the new beginning happens around the full moon, right around the beginning of the month, and the full moon brings in illumination. It brings in some awareness in your path where there might be some things that are coming up to be reviewed for you. This becomes the activation. The full moon really illuminates an area of your life where things can expand, things can become more connected. Sometime the full moon will bring up areas where you have some shadow or some shifting that needs to happen, but it's always to activate you to a new exciting energy. So as you go through the full moon, there might be a little bit of discomfort, might be a little bit of shifting, releasing some of the old, but what happens is you infuse yourself with the activation that helps align you more fully to the mastery. And then at the end of the month, we get the duality, and the duality comes up around the new moon, and the duality becomes the test. It becomes your last initiation, your last kind of hurdle, to make sure that you're not falling into old patterns, and that you're going to pass the test of the month and graduate with that mastery energy for September. So now I'm going to read to you each of those items. So for blue path, the first mastery energy is pragmatic. And I have to tell you, blue path, if you did not watch the August new moon cosmic influx of energy, I think the email was titled, but it's basically the last video in August on YouTube. If you didn't watch that, your path is running very parallel to the influx of cosmic energies. And so if you didn't watch it, please go back and watch that at some point. It's going to bring in so much more awareness as to what's shifting. I feel like you, blue path, are really in alignment. What we said at the beginning of the video, the first wave of energy here that's moving in, that's shifting, that's making sure you're ready to bring in more of this high self connection, more of this oversoul connection, whatever consciousness level you're kind of clued into here, plugged into here, you are really part of the first wave, is what I want to say, because I think every single one of your energies showed up in that cosmic energy reading. And by the way, I opened a totally new deck and they told me not to shuffle it. Well, a deck that I had packed from moving. And they said, don't shuffle it. This is exactly how it needs to come out. And literally it came out exact verbatim, the cards that we laid from another deck I was using to read the end of the August month. So a little bit mind blowing here, but you are definitely part of the first wave. So let's just let you know that that's where you are. And so what you had manifested in August, or why you picked this path, is really a big, it's big, it's notable. You are right in alignment to doing the cosmic work. So let me get into this. I'm going to go so deep and so fractal and sidebar here. Maybe we'll get into the energies of your path in a minute, but basically, let me just give you an indication of what might be happening for you, because the people who are walking this path, again, you are now walking as high self, or if you've been, on this conscious path for a very long time, you might be connecting to the oversoul or connecting to divine self. And what this means is walking as high self means you're no longer buying into the singularity of your human existence. And what could be an example of this is somebody who feels like they're typical, what society expects of you, to be an upstanding citizen, to be, a part of what would be considered this human that's doing life right, that's successful, that's worthy of carrying the human title, that, is accomplishing, that is succeeding, that is a successful part of society, as an individual, that has credentials and titles and status and all of these, acclimates over your individuality. That when you enter high self and you start walking as high self, those individual achievements tend to not be as important as it is to understand how your place on earth, your place in this world, your place in what you've chosen to do and be and create, how that starts to evolve into not such a it's all about me game, and how do I do this to rise myself up? How do I do this to make myself better? Everything you've done up to this point, as you enter the high self connection, it elevates you into no longer a singular path, but it takes you into living as this in this connection where it's about you, and everything you've earned up into this point helps to serve where you are, but it's no longer about you, and it's about what is the bigger picture of my purpose. So it's a lot of this, and it's not so much anymore questioning, and that doesn't feel right because it's a lot of questioning your purpose, but it's almost as if you click out of the singular adventure of life and you click into, what does my adventure mean in connection to humanity? Why am I actually here? And you will have been asking these questions for a long time. That's what actually clicks you in to the high self connection. And so now what's happening for you is this is coming in. It's like, if you're still questioning, you're going to get the answer soon. If you've started to understand what it means to be in connection to every other person here on earth, and now you want to know how can you best serve. And don't think Mother Teresa, don't think the Dalai Lama here. You don't have to go far extreme. You can do this in your normal waking phase. But it's letting go of the identity, the ego, the low self, that I'm doing this for myself, for my family, to get ahead in life. It's letting go of all of that and opening up to a much bigger pocket of reality where you realize everything you do is a stone that ripples in the pond of life that affects every other person. And so you want to know, when you drop a stone into your reality, what those ripples are going to do and how those ripples are going to affect everybody else. And it doesn't necessarily have to be so you can make sure you're protecting everybody. Again, it doesn't have to be this humanitarian cause, but it's literally getting out of the self-service and getting into an expanded view that every single drop in that pond creates a ripple that moves out. And literally now what you're doing is watching the ripples. You're a part of the ripples. You are in essence the ripples. And so you're not just the stone that drops and sinks to the bottom. You are every ripple, and that is what you're going to start sensing into, and how everything you've ever been creates and has created these different stones that drop in and create these different ripples. And so you're going to be this this person that is experiencing life from a different perspective. And so that's what it means, in my opinion, to walk as high self. Oh geez, and then to walk as divine self. There's not going to be many of you out there, not saying that with any ego, but it's just, this is a very rare thing to be connected to. This would maybe signal the person who's been doing this work, for 10, 15, 20 years now, and been walking as high self, having literal experiences of knowing who you are through all time, all space, and implementing these things here on earth already. So to walk now in connection to divine self means that there is no longer the singular viewpoint of living as high self or living as low self. You're literally able to scale through the different fabrics of this multidimensional reality, and you're able to be and perceive and understand when you're being called into 3D, when you're being called into higher dimensional realities, and being able to hold that space, play with that space, and know how to shift between that space. And you're doing that in essence to program and create an experience here that's a container for the work that you are here to do. And so divine self, or the cosmic oversoul, comes in when you recognize who you've been through all time, all space, and now you're actually bringing in the divine gifts and talents through the universal time grid that are needed at specific points in time in this linear 3D grid of time. And so you know how to kind of work through those different fabrics to be in the flow of whatever dimensional space you're in, and do what you need to do without resistance, and selecting kind of how you're going to co-create within this linear reality, because you are still human. And so that means you play in that space, but playing in that space and able to anchor in and connect a lot of these other timelines and potentials for other people to play on. And so that would be the higher aspect of that. Again, that'll be, you don't have to be there. That's not a goal, okay? That's not a goal. It's just a potential, right? If you have that part of your, I don't want to get into that, but if you have an anchor into that as being one of the things that you're here to do, right? Which not a lot of people need to or have to have that. It's the connection to high self that is really important right now. And so let's get into the blue path and reading this. So the mastery for this month is going to be this pragmatic approach. So it's the people who again, the mastery of switching between logical to holographic, from logical to intuitive. And so there, I don't care who you are and how clairvoyant, how intuitive you've been, or how not clairvoyant or intuitive you've been, doesn't matter how much you're doing this. The goal here and the mastery for you this month is to really understand what it means to be in an expansive holographic right brain receptive state, and then how to understand what it means to be in the linear state. Again, this is what we're talking about, a high self low self, divine self. This is navigating through the different timelines. This is a really, and I know I'm talking really kind of deep here, but you chose to be a part of the first wave. So what this really means is somebody who is really grounding and creating a foundation. Again, the finishing, the mastery for you. You manifested your purpose. You've manifested what you needed here. Your foundation is really stable right now. Now in this foundation of what you've created from August, what they're saying is now in this foundation, what you need to do is get more expansive and receptive to the multiple timelines. Again, this is why you're walking as high self or divine self now. You need to not be in the left brain, the linear timeline, right? You need to click yourself out of every day, this happens, this is the structure, this is the process. No. That's not how it works anymore. You need to be expansive. You need to be a part of the flow. What you are as a part of this first wave is that you are a conduit to help bring in the universal time grid. And the universal time grid is not linear. It is sensitive to what is needed in this moment. And only those who are in walking connection to high self, meaning high self is operating through your 3D physical body, you have that connection to either your soul in high self or your oversoul in divine self. That means that you're able to pull in whatever is needed, which we'll call this like an influx of cosmic energy or a frequency boost, right? In the moment, you're able to bring that in when it's needed. And your linear mind, if your linear mind was doing this, if the mind that is structured, that is controlled, that is operating based off of your past and what you need in the future, very controlling, very three-dimensional, very point A to point B, structure, schedule, control, linear, one path. If this is how you're operating, you are going to miss the opportunities of bringing in this infusion of energy. If you are operating from the right holographic brain, if you're more expansive, which just means, no linear control. It's not operating based off of how you did it before and what you want the outcome to be. It's operating in the center point, the pineal gland, all these beautiful things here, the center point, which is the antenna up, which is the right brain, which makes you more expansive to new experiences. When you hold that as your mental kind of operating mode, you are able to be the conduit that can then infuse the energy that's needed into any moment. Again, this does not have to be spiritual, right? You don't have to be doing this like me at all. Please don't, for your sake, not mine. It's, doing this through at the water cooler, right? Just being able to change the situation or change the conversation. And really, as you do that, because you're expansive and not trying to control, not operating off of the past or the future, when you're just in the moment and expansive, you might say the one thing that's needed that creates a domino effect for everybody else to gravitate and hold on to and have new experiences with. And that is what we need. We need everybody living authentically in connection to their version of high self and their connection to divine self, so that you can infuse new opportunity, new potential into this three-dimensional timeline, into this one timeline that a lot of people are walking and stuck on right now. Again, because you're the first wave. So then coming up at the beginning of the month, right around the full moon, you're going to get the new beginning. And so the new beginning is going to be you being the narrator. And so the narrator is all about you, you living your life, walking your walk, talking your talk, you being you. And then that infusing into what you've created as this new foundation. Again, everything for you is stemming back from August and what you really have intended for yourself, your purpose, the magic of you, and then being able to create that and connect that into this foundation, being able to infuse and create for yourself a lot of what you felt was your purpose and make it this now moment. That's what you did in August. And now the mastery for you here in September, what you're finishing, what you're completing, what is going to send you on your way in the perfect way possible, is you learning how to be more expansive, right brain than left brain. And then now the infusion, the energy you're going to get come the very first week of September is going to be you being able to, it's narrating your story, which is like telling your story. But again, it doesn't have to be through your actual physical voice. This can be you telling your story through actions, through intention, through just you being you, which is so cool. It's like all you have to do is do you, right? Trust that what you want, what you feel, how you want to act is all being guided by this expansiveness. But again, it will be because you're staying holographic. It's going to be because you've switched from that left linear controlled version where you're plugged into the old 3D timeline, when you can unplug from that and be really expansive and let a higher flow come in, right? More of this natural ease and flow. Then when you can do that, you will be the walking, talking embodiment of this new energy. And so you yourself will be the vessel that can move through the 3D timeline. And I know I'm saying things in probably a little bit of a weird, deep way. So go back and watch the August, because that was even deeper and weirder, but it might give you some context here. But this linear paradox that a lot of people are stuck in is what is finishing. And you are the first wave of energy that is embodying this new way of being. So people are going to be influenced by you, whether you like it or not. You are carrying higher frequency, which means when you are in alignment to your truth, to the mastery of this month, which the mastery again is switching to being expansive and not so controlling over your path, you will literally be plugged into this new energy. You will be, it's like moth to flame. You will be the flame that is infusing this no matter what you do, as long as you're living that truth, and people will respond. You will be someone that can help shift the energy of people who are stuck. Okay, and then the last thing, the duality around the new moon at the end of the month, around the 20s of the month, when things are shifting, your test is going to come up around your stability, around your house, around what you've created as this foundational aspect of what's got you here. So this is really interesting. You in this is like literally the mirror reality of what we've been claiming, I have been claiming, was started in June, really goes all the way back to January, but for us really predominantly in June, and then we'll end in November. If you haven't clicked in, you're now getting this real micro click in where it's like, okay, you could pass this test at the end of this September month, and your mirror reality is going to come up real strong at the end of September. And it's actually really cool because it's a direct reflection of what got you here from August. So this could be a really easy pattern to read. This could be it could be like having the teacher's answer key when the test comes. Like, this is probably the easiest test you could pass all year, right? Because you literally just had the experience of what was it that created your stability? What was it that created your foundation? Where was your heart in creating this foundation? Exactly for what manifested for you in August, what's come in, what do you know, what's your truth, right? It's like everything you really anchored into, it's either you, people outside of you, what you've built as your foundation. It's one of these very human level things that really your purpose manifested this August. That's why you're here, Blue Path. And so this is like your sanctuary, and this is going to be where the duality comes. So something around what you're what your purpose, what you've built, what you acknowledged, what just manifested so big for you. Something is going to come up and challenge you with this. Something is going to come up and test you. And it's going to be a mirror of what you just created in August. And so it's so freaking easy, but it's probably going to pull the rug underneath you because you thought everything was perfect, everything was magical, everything was happening in alignment, right? You manifested it so perfectly. And here we go. First challenge with it comes right at the end of September. And so this is going to be the test. It's going to say, if your house of cards comes crumbling down, and again, this is 3D reality, my friends, so do not play in the physical because you know the energy behind everything you've created. It's the energy you have to stay connected to here. It's the energy, the intention, the love, the heart, the trust in what you manifested and how connected it was to your purpose. That is the energy you have to stay connected to here. Whatever comes up at the end of September is going to be a 3D old paradigm, like illusion, shock to that physical something that was manifested, and it's going to try and make you second guess or make you pull back down into the 3D, make you get scared that, oh my gosh, what if this isn't what I thought it was? It's gonna pull you back down into a density. It's gonna pull you back down into a fear-based human style, either regret or, oh my gosh, did I really see that for what it was? It's going to be a limitation. It's going to be a linear, old paradigm, 3D, physical limitation, and it's a test. It's a test. It's a test. It's a test. I need you to wake up September 20th, September 21st, September 22nd, all the way to the 30s in September. And just know it's like this too shall pass, and reconnect to the amazing magical energy that was happening and so connected in August, because that is the energy of the greater expansive connection here. And when you can hold on to that, it will transmute whatever this test is that comes up at the end of September. And if you pass this test and stay connected to the expansiveness, you will be living the mastery. You will have, in essence, completed this massive finishing, which is the indication of September, this big completion, this big finishing. And literally, I feel like you will be on your way in October. You'll be able to program this next step. You'll really be set up for a really great end of the year. So just trust in where you are, trust in what you've created, because it's all here serving your highest, greatest good.
If what you seek is seeking you, then what are you looking for?
There's a part of you that wants to expand, it wants to grow, and it wants to feel much better than it already does.
This membership program offers courses to change your reactions and tools to expand your perspective.
They're tools. They're just trying to amplify what's already there, make you a better version of self. This is the first time I felt full in my entire life.
Guided meditations and live interactions will bring validation.
Going through these rebirths or this evolution, this form of change, this shift, it is the most exciting part.
Explore your potential, embrace your gifts, and empower your life.
So we're going to start with the mastery, and I'll just give you a little digest again of how we read these energies. So I'm going to bring up 3 energies for you to be aware of throughout this month. So we talk about the mastery of the month. We're going to talk about the new beginning and then the duality. And so again, picking the blue path means you're choosing to walk a really conscious, connected path for you energetically. And what this is going to do is it's going to help keep you into the alignments that are naturally shifting, to keep you in alignment to everything that's happening in a bigger way, in the unity plane, right? This is all about what we were talking about at the end of August, the shifts, the cosmic influx of energy here. So this is really keeping you sewed into the perfect alignment for you, for what you're learning, for what you have chosen to experience through this completion month of September. And so the mastery is the goal. It's the goal for you, for what you're trying to achieve and what you're trying to raise yourself consciously to experience. So in essence, the mastery is taking you from one life experience that maybe was a consciousness level down here, and it's trying to give you experiences that raise that awareness, that raise your consciousness a bit higher, so you can have more expansive connection to this energy that we're going to present as the mastery. And then the new beginning happens around the full moon, right around the beginning of the month, and the full moon brings in illumination. It brings in some awareness in your path where there might be some things that are coming up to be reviewed for you. This becomes the activation. The full moon really illuminates an area of your life where things can expand, things can become more connected. Sometime the full moon will bring up areas where you have some shadow or some shifting that needs to happen, but it's always to activate you to a new exciting energy. So as you go through the full moon, there might be a little bit of discomfort, might be a little bit of shifting, releasing some of the old, but what happens is you infuse yourself with the activation that helps align you more fully to the mastery. And then at the end of the month, we get the duality, and the duality comes up around the new moon, and the duality becomes the test. It becomes your last initiation, your last kind of hurdle to make sure that you're not falling into old patterns, and that you're going to pass the test of the month and graduate with that mastery energy for September. So now I'm going to read to you each of those items. All right, Red Path, so you are here because you had some massive connections come in, big connections, groups of people, the humanitarian causes, society, your community, whatever it is, that's why you're here, right? August was a really connected month for you to people, larger groups outside of you. So what can you expect? Your mastery this month is going to be all about wisdom, and you are manifesting wisdom. I absolutely love this because as this is the September, the 9, the finishing, the big completion, what you're being asked to do is really understand a lot of what your purpose is in connection to this human journey. So you are here gaining a lot of clarity on what your next step is. Again, per what transitioned at the end of August, all this big influx of cosmic energy, all of this new alignment, everything that's coming in for you is very focused on understanding more of what it is you're here to create. So I really do feel like these are the people, if you're here on the Red Path, you're here to really integrate, lock in, understand what it means to be walking as high self, what it means to be a part of the bigger picture, what it means to understand who you are and who you've been up into this point, but to gain the wisdom of the greater purpose, the expansiveness of your soul journey, your destiny, whatever these beautiful words you want to put on it are. And so for you, this is about gaining an awareness over your purpose, over your path, over yourself. And so I really do feel like there's going to be a lot of click in for you here this month to help you understand. And so if you stay really connected to the energy as it flows in this month, you are going to gain day by day more and more wisdom. Things are going to happen to you. Again, this could be good. This could be in your eyes a little bit negative or dense, but every interaction you have this month is going to help you gain more of that soul level knowing, that trust, that authentic connection that teaches you who you are at the soul level, allows you to expand bigger than what you've come from this month, and allows you to gain clarity on what your purpose is moving forward. So the next energy that we're going to talk about is the new beginning. And this new beginning happens right around the full moon. And the full moon is here to illuminate a part of our life that we can use an influx of energy. And the influx of energy for you is going to be all about your mind in connection to you being present. And so this is going to be you getting the signs. I really do love your path. It's almost as if this is, and I don't want to say this in a way that offends anybody, but I'm going to use the word God here, right? This is as if God is holding your hand this month and walking you step by step through the darkness to find who you are, to find your essence, to find your divinity. It's like you're being so protected this month, and I absolutely love this for you. I see absolutely nothing bad about your path, even in the duality that we're going to talk about in a minute. It's beautiful. You are really being, it's like excuse me for going rogue here. When you're a kid in that science class, I don't know what, I think it's in middle school or maybe high school, where you have to take care of an egg, and the egg, you have to create some kind of cushion for it, and try and protect it. And then, I think you drop it off and do something with gravity or whatnot. And so this whole thing is about trying to create a reality for this egg where it's protected, right? Where this fragile essence, right? And the egg is your soul this month. And so here's my big crazy metaphor. But you are the egg this month. It's like this grand completion is all about walking you through so gently so that the egg, it doesn't crack, but the egg at the very end gets to hatch into what it's always been, right? And you get to see what you've been inside the egg. I'm just like giddy. Your energy this month is just so precious. It's so, the energy, the inner child has been coming up a lot in personal readings that I've been doing. And I actually have been telling people as it's coming up, I'm like, the inner child has not ever come up this month this much, but it started coming up to speak for people when the shift happened right around August 15th. And so this inner child energy has been coming out to play, and that's really what this is. It's this essence of you that has always been a part of you, but it's something you protected, right? Think about that childlike version of you, that went to school and that was so unique and had wants, had dreams, had ideals for itself, and yet, society told it couldn't do that. Other kids, said that wasn't normal, that was strange, you're being too you got to be more like us. And so, you in essence then start protecting and cocooning this inner child. And that's now the egg, right? And so you throughout your life have been protecting this essence of you. And Red Path, I really feel like you're going to be hatching that egg. You're going to be releasing the inner child. You are going to see who you've been at the core throughout all of this. This is your grand completion this month. And so again, to walk the mastery of this month means that the human journey is being guided by your purpose. Your purpose is your human journey. So you this month, again, the mastery is living this journey, being really aware day in, day out. Now I'm going to tell you what, I'm jumping all over the board for you here, Red Path, and I'm so sorry to do this, but there's just so much interesting, exciting energy for you. The duality, which comes in at the end of the month around the 20s, right around the new moon, it'll really trigger, which the duality is really like this final test to see if you're ready to hatch your egg and find out who you've been inside. And it's almost like a Pokemon, right? Where it's like, what Pokemon are you going to be? Sorry, I have kids. Okay, so in that, in the duality at the end of the month, the duality is about kismet. It's about synchronicities. It's about feeling really connected and your intuition being your purpose, about allowing yourself to intuitively know that the path you've been walking all along is this really kismet aligned. All the synchronicities, all the signs have been guiding you. And so for you, this whole month is about really just being you. It's about being you and letting go of anything else. It's about trusting trusting that the human journey, every single day, the 1st of September, the 2nd of September, the 3rd of September, that anything that happens to you this month has been divinely organized in this really beautiful way, right? A very linear path this month, the 1st to the 30th. And every single day you show up and you live in this journey really present, you are going to gain more awareness on who you are, what you want, what your purpose is. And it's really about learning the truth of you and feeling what is right in your life and what does not feel right. And it doesn't even seem like you have to make decisions, which is really cool. I see no decision card. I see a lot of information here that's saying the new beginning is all about teaching you how to be present to your mind, and how the mind is going to say turn left while you're driving. You typically turn right, and your mind is going to say turn left, and your mind is going to be like, wait a minute, why do I want to turn left instead of turning right today? If you ignore that, you will be patterning the old. Your egg will not crack. Like literally, your life this month is about listening to the mind, watching for the signs, watching for these weird things to come up, these weird anomalies of the mind speaking to you, talking to you, showing you, if you're thinking about your friend Julie and then you drive down Julie Street, that Julie's going to be appearing in your life very soon. Your life right now, the new energy, the infusion of energy is like validating you that you are on the path to awakening, to understanding what this purpose is, what this potential is for you. And so really for you, it's just about living this month. Your grand completion is about trusting the human path. And then the duality comes in at the end of the month again, with this new moon at the end of the month. And the big test for you is, okay, your infusion of energy at the beginning of the month around the full moon really helped you to start living in accordance with what the mind says. Turn left instead of turning right like you always do. Buy this instead of buying that. Take your umbrella today instead of this. Let's try meditation today. Whatever your mind is guiding you towards, all of those things, when you do it, it's going to open up these new experiences that help to crack the egg and hatch that beautiful inner child inside, right? The you that's been there all along that is now ready to come out and shine really bright as this truth of you. And so the duality will come up to say, okay, your purpose has literally been manifesting these wants of the mind. And so if you have distrusted, if you have thought, why do I want this? Why do I want to eat? Why do I want to eat meat tonight? I've been a vegetarian for 2 years, right? Why do I want that? If you literally say no to the things the mind is influencing you right now with, you are going to be locking yourself into the controlled version of who you've always been. Your path is to live, to have new experiences, to try new things, and this is going to be what cracks open the egg. So the duality comes in if you don't manifest a strong connection to the mind and what the purpose of the mind is and is playing out for you right now. If you reject that, you will be in the duality. And that's going to come up real strong. There's probably going to be distrust over your mind, distrust over some of the wants, distrust over, is this doing anything for me? Because that's going to come in real strong around the new moon, around the 20s of the month, right? Around the duality of the month. And if you really hesitate or choose not to follow these internal wants, these internal expansive kind of wants or experiences, you will again kind of just be in that old paradigm self. So to crack your egg open, to find out what Pokemon you have living inside of you, you really do have to just trust and walk really, really grounded, really present. You have to really understand how to quiet the mind. For those of you a part of the membership, I've got a great program to really get you anchored through your driving each day that's so easy to really get you focused on what's happening up here in the cerebral area, right? And that's under the chakra certification part of the membership, and it's just level 1 right there, and there's some really great car practices that you can do. So I'd highly encourage that. If you're not a member, you can always join. It supports everything we do here at Chakrasroottocrown. And so that is your red path, my friends. I really just love your energy. I love what you're exposing. I love what you're gonna discover about yourself. And again, remember, there's nothing. What's emerging is a new sense of self, right? I don't really see a big, huge aha moment where it's like, that's my purpose, but what's going to emerge is a new way of understanding yourself that truly anchors you in to an authenticity that's been missing. And this, my friend, is what helps you to click into all these cosmic shifts that are happening and gets you ready as a vessel to be more of this embodiment of your truth and walking as high self. So with so much light and love, I thank you for showing up and walking the great walk of this human journey. And we'll see you again right around the full moon at the beginning of the month.
If what you seek is seeking you, then what are you looking for?
There's a part of you that wants to expand, it wants to grow, and it wants to feel much better than it already does.
This membership program offers courses to change your reactions and tools to expand your perspective.
They're tools. They're just trying to amplify what's already there, make you a better version of self. This is the first time I felt full in my entire life.
Guided meditations and live interactions will bring validation.
Going through these rebirths or this evolution, this form of change, this shift, it is the most exciting part.
Explore your potential, embrace your gifts, and empower your life.